Hey, this is Kathy Perry, corporate energy expert, helping you and your senior living teams power up and perform. And today I want to talk about stress triggers. Well, we all know what stress is, and we know that certain things and events can trigger us. So in today's video, I'm going to unpack a little bit about understanding your triggers and then what to do next. Stay till the very end because I have a quick and easy a word with 3 letters in it is going to help you remember how to manage your stress triggers. Well, first of all, what is a trigger? It can be an event. Oh my gosh, we're getting ready for end of the month and I don't have the numbers. My census isn't up. Or inspections are coming about. Or I have a review. I have to either give a review, I'm getting a review. It can be an event. It can be a person. There's a certain person when you're in their presence that can trigger a stress response. Or it can be completely unexpected. We don't see it coming. Just all of a sudden something happens and we feel all the stress begin to happen. So there are a lot of things that can trigger a stress response. Well, one of the quickest ways that you can begin to understand triggers is to make a list, make a conscious list of what types of events trigger stress in you, and equally important, what people trigger stress in you. And then you can combine the two and say, what events with what people really stress me out? Go ahead, make that list. Because once you become a little clear on when the stress happens for you, you can start to manage it better. The second part of this is, how do you react once you're triggered? Well, there are emotional reactions, there are physical reactions that happen with stress. As a former wellness coach and a background in all of this, I really understand stress and the detrimental effects it can have on your body. So when you enter the stressed out period, your hormones elevate, adrenaline, that thing that's going to get you through, elevates. You start breathing more rapidly. Your blood cells start to oxygenate more so that you can run or fight this big thing that's triggering you. And that can be detrimental to your heart health, to your emotional health, to all systems in your body. And then you also have one called cortisol. And when cortisol comes out around the same time that adrenaline comes out, but it stays elevated for longer because it thinks that threat might come back around. So when we're going around with all this elevated stress hormones, we really can be doing damage to our health. So a couple ways to manage that are to, again, do that assessment, understand what's happening in your body, and then begin to take a bit of control. So that control piece might look like, how do you react? What is your personal reaction to a stressful situation? Do you clam up immediately or do you get kind of, the nasty face? Do you yell? I'm hoping that isn't one. Most of us in a professional setting realize we need to keep professional, but man, at the end of the day, we might take it out on our kids or our spouse. So really start to, along with that list that you're creating about the situations, what are your go-to reactions? I want to have those under control. Then take it a step further. Begin to think about, what are the reactions of people I work with? Now, I deal a lot with this, and I'm going to put a resource attached to this video about how to handle different types of reactions. So you can use it with your team. Have a conversation around it. Yes, I realize when this happens, I'm a big old crybaby, or I have to go off and have 5 minutes to myself. It's important to understand these triggers cause reactions, and not all reactions are the same. So we can't measure everybody on the same emotional level, and we can't, when it comes to reviews, we can't say, well, you react this way. So just having those discussions on your team. So what is a trigger? How do you react to it? Now, that little formula I promised, This coming weekend, I'm shooting this around the time of the Masters. I'm a huge golf fan, and sorry, the Masters is just the epitome of golf watching pleasure. Well, if you know anything about golf, you know the term par. Par is when you get the ball in the hole in the number that is specified for that hole. So if it's a par 3, you get the ball in 3. If it's a par 4, you get it in 4. So remember par when it comes to stress triggers. P-A-R. So the P in PAR stands for prepare. And that's sort of what this video has been about. Prepare. Know what stresses you out, know how you react, understand the way that your team reacts, and try to anticipate the situations before they happen. Prepare. The next one, A, is for authority. Guess what? You can have control over your reactions. Maybe not over the triggers, although once you identify the triggers, you can start to have some control over that. Like, I'm going to have a conversation with Sue because when she reacts this way or when this event happens, her demeanor changes and that stresses me out. So that's a piece of control you could take. The A in PAR stands for authority. You have authority over some of these stress triggers and the way you react. The R is for remove. Remove some of this stuff from the way you deal with stress. You know, we don't have to react to everything. We can remove it. We could also, when a situation is happening, say, I'm going to remove that until 4 o'clock, and then I'm going to deal with it. We have the opportunity to remove certain triggers from our lives. That also comes under the authority. So remember the PAR. You can prepare, you can have authority and control over some of these situations, and you can remove yourself from some of those situations as well. So look for that resource that I'm going to go ahead and put in the notes for this. Please subscribe to this channel. I put up new videos all the time, lots of content, especially for senior living professionals. I know that we are in an industry that is so rewarding, but can also drain us. So I want to power you up. So thanks so much for watching. This is Kathy Perry.